"Do not watch this alone." That line flashed on 3 screens in 3 different homes across America at the same time. Jake Miller in Ohio, Emily Carter in Arizona, and Marcus Lee in Maine all clicked play anyway. The video title was the same for each of them. 3 terrifying true horror stories you shouldn't watch alone in American. At first, it was just a voice telling a warning. Then, the lights in all 3 homes flickered. A cold draft moved through shut rooms. The video speaker whispered, "If you are alone, someone else will come to keep you company." The front door handles all turned by themselves. The camera on the video zoomed in on a dark hallway, and something stepped out of it. 3 homes. 3 screens. 3 shadows moving closer. And then, everything went black. Hours earlier, before the blackouts and the turning handles, the day was simple. Jake Miller, 23, worked the late shift at a grocery store in Cleveland. He laughed at scary videos. He liked to tell friends, "Nothing in these is real. It's just stories." That night his apartment was quiet. He heated pizza. He put his phone on the table. He clicked on the video because the title made him grin. "You shouldn't watch alone?" Challenge accepted. The first minutes were slow. The voice talked about a basement voice caught on tape in 2009. Jake rolled his eyes. Then his freezer door creaked open on its own. He sighed and closed it. Low event. Just a draft, he thought. But when he sat down, the freezer door was open again. And the video voice said, clear as a bell, "Do you keep meat in there, Jake?" He paused the video. The voice did not pause. Emily Carter, 30, lived in Phoenix. She was careful and smart. She worked from home and kept the chain on her door. She liked true crime. She thought it made her safer. That night the desert sky was pink and then black. She made tea and turned on the same video. The first story was called The Night Caller. It was about a woman who got phone calls with her own voice on the line. Emily frowned, impressed by the trick. Then her phone lit up. No name. Just her number calling her. She didn't answer. Low event. Probably a glitch, she told herself. But the phone rang again and again, and on the 4th ring she hit speaker. Her own voice said, "Why did you open the door?" Emily stood very still. The door was shut. The chain was on. She hadn't touched it. Marcus Lee, 27, fixed boats along the rocky coast of Maine. He liked quiet nights and old music. He didn't care for ghost stuff, but the video popped up on his feed. The title felt odd, like it was written by someone far away who didn't know the right words. That made him smile. He clicked it while he tuned his guitar. The story on screen changed to The Blue Motel Room. It told about a traveler who stayed in room 213 where the TV turned on by itself at 3:13 a.m. Marcus glanced at his clock, 9:13 p.m. He laughed at the match. Low event. A neat coincidence. Then his TV, which was off, flashed blue for half a second. He checked the remote. The batteries were out. He knew that for a fact. He had taken them out that morning to use in a flashlight. Jake tried to calm down. He unpaused the video to see if the freezer line had been a weird ad. The voice said, "Basement voices copy the last words they hear." Jake didn't have a basement. But his building did. He heard a thump under the floor. He walked to the hallway and listened. Another thump. Not loud. Not scary. Low event, he told himself again. He came back and pressed play. On screen, the hallway got darker. He saw a shape in the distance, like a person standing just outside the camera's light. His apartment lights dimmed. Emily stood at her peephole. No one was there. She sat back down and typed a text to her best friend. "LOL, my own number just called me." She tried to make it a joke. The video said, "Do not answer the call. Do not open your door." The chain on her door went tight, as if pulled from the other side. The tea on her table went still, like all the air was holding its breath. Marcus set his guitar down and reached for the TV plug. He planned to pull it from the wall. The TV turned itself back on. Not to a show, just to a live, dead silent feed of his own living room. The camera angle was weird, high and near the ceiling, like a hotel security view. In the top corner, blue numbers read 913. He felt his chest cool, like someone had opened a freezer behind him. In 3 states, the same video kept playing. The same voice kept warning. The same little things kept adding up. Low to high. Calm to cold. Jake's freezer hummed. Emily's chain rattled. Marcus's TV clicked. And in all 3 homes, right as the video voice said, "You shouldn't watch alone," the front door locks all clicked open by themselves. The front door locks all clicked open by themselves. The sound was small, yet sharp enough to cut through the silence. Jake froze mid-breath. Emily stared at her door as the chain began to tremble. Marcus stood up so fast his chair fell over. None of them could know the others were going through the same thing at the exact same second. None of them could hear the voice whisper from their screens. "Now you're part of the story." Jake grabbed a kitchen knife. His heart pounded like footsteps on the floor. He tiptoed toward the door and whispered, "Who's there?" The hallway was dark. Only the blinking red light from his router gave a faint glow. He could see that the lock had turned, but the door hadn't opened yet. He touched the handle, cold as ice. When he shut it again and turned the lock back, the video on his laptop started playing without sound. The figure in the dark hallway on screen began to move closer. It looked like him. Emily backed away from her door. The chain fell off the hook with a slow clink. Her phone vibrated again, her own number flashing on the screen. She didn't answer, but the ringing didn't stop this time. It just kept going and going. She threw the phone into her sink and ran for her bedroom. The sound followed her there, muffled but constant. Then, her smart speaker came on. "Playing audio," it said in her own voice. Then she heard herself whisper, "Why did you hide?" Marcus tried to yank the TV cord, but it was stuck, like someone was pulling it from the other side of the wall. The screen glitched, flickered, and then the camera view changed. It wasn't his living room anymore. It was the dock outside his window, where he could see his boat rocking under the moonlight. A man was standing beside it. Marcus ran to the window. No one was there. He turned back to the TV, and the man was now inside his living room, standing behind the couch. Marcus turned slowly. The couch was empty. Jake slammed his laptop shut and ran to his bedroom. His phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "Keep watching. Don't stop now." He wanted to call the police, but his phone screen turned black before he could. The room went silent except for a faint whisper, like static, coming from the floor vent. He knelt down and listened. The voice from the vent said, "It's cold down here, Jake. We've been waiting." He stood up so fast he hit his head on the shelf. He backed away, staring at the vent. The air that came out was freezing. Emily hid under her blanket, shaking. The ringing stopped at last, but the silence was worse. Then, her phone spoke one last time from the sink. "I'm inside." Her lights flickered and went out. The room went dark, except for the glow from her TV screen in the living room, still showing the paused image of a woman standing at a door. But now the woman had moved. Her head was turned toward the camera, eyes open wide, staring right at Emily's direction. Marcus picked up his flashlight and crept toward the back door. He needed to get outside, breathe fresh air, make sense of things. He swung the door open and ran into the night. The sea wind hit him hard. The dock was empty, the water calm. Then his flashlight blinked out for 1 second, just one, and when it came back on, the man from the TV was standing at the end of the dock, facing him. Marcus whispered, "Who are you?" The man tilted his head and smiled, though his mouth didn't move. He lifted a hand and pointed toward Marcus's house. The living room lights flickered inside even though Marcus had unplugged everything. In Ohio, Jake grabbed his jacket and bolted for the front door. He didn't even lock it behind him. The hallway lights were out. The elevator was stuck on another floor. He took the stairs. Every few steps, the lights blinked on and off. On one flicker, he saw someone standing a few steps below him, a shadow wearing his same jacket. He stumbled back, slipped, and hit his knee. When the light came on again, the stairs were empty. Emily decided she couldn't stay in her house. She grabbed her car keys and ran for the front door. When she opened it, the night outside didn't look like her street anymore. The houses were gone. There was just fog, thick and rolling, and in the middle of it, she could see her own living room, like it had been copied and placed outside. The TV inside that copy was still on, showing her standing in the doorway, frozen in fear. Marcus ran toward the figure at the dock, shouting now, desperate to break the illusion. "Stop! Who are you?" The man didn't move. He just stepped backward into the water without making a splash. Marcus's flashlight followed him. Nothing there, only ripples. He turned back toward his house, but his front door was wide open, and the TV inside now showed himself standing on the dock, shining a light toward the house. And in that moment, across 3 different states, all 3 screens, the laptop, the phone, and the TV, showed the same thing, the same hallway, the same blue light, and the same sentence appearing across the bottom. "You're not watching anymore. You're inside the story now." The lights in all 3 homes went out again. The sound of breathing filled the dark.